Hey Jesse, what's going on, brother? Nick O'Neill here. Do appreciate you reaching out to me on Facebook, and as promised, got this video here for your business and for your website. So it's going to entail 3 points for you, and that's going to be content, backlinks, and citations. Then I'm going to show you the opportunity of taking these steps for your business and why it's going to be so important. Now, I do got to say that I did try to pull up your website, but for some reason, something's going on with there, so I couldn't pull it up. So we're going to keep it with your Facebook business page and one of your top competitors, which would be these cats right here. Now, let me get back. Okay. I also want to go ahead and let you know, man, you have a bit of a unique situation in that you're doing epoxy countertops and you're in Montana where, big cities just aren't really a thing. If you know what I mean, as you do live out there. So you're over there in Ennis, I believe. And yeah, so it's a bit of a unique situation that you find yourself in. But nonetheless, I'm gonna try to help you as best as I can, brother. And yeah, so let's take a look at it. When you do get that website back up and running, you're going to want to start off with content, right? And so generally Google likes to see 1,500 to 2,000 words on your home page. And we're going to use diamond cut epoxy as, an example to, that I can give you. Um, so anyways, sorry about that. You're going to want to have 1,500 to 2,000 words, and that's depending on competition and the number of keywords needed. So if you're asking what a keyword is anything someone might type into Google when they're looking for a particular service or product. So in your content, you can place these keywords throughout to tell Google exactly what terms you want your website found for. For an example, a keyword for you could be epoxy countertops in Ennis, Montana, or, coated showers in Ennis, Montana, right? You get the idea. Service plus city equals keyword. So if we put these cats in a word counter, let's just see where they're standing at on their home page. They're only at 345 words, so they're not doing too great on there. They've got a lot of stuff going on the back end with their website, but I won't get into that as you don't need to really know that. Just know that you do want to get up to 1,500 words. One, because Google doesn't consider your website a figurative authority until you hit that 1,500 mark, so they're not going to crawl your web page as often, and they won't get you in front of the people that you want to be in front of, which means less jobs and, less revenue for the business. Number two is you want enough content to get all these keywords in there that I'm about to give you examples of. So let's go over here to my tool Arrows. It's a tool I use and pay for monthly. There are free ones out there that you can use, but this gives me more in-depth data on websites and competitors' websites. So let's see what keywords Google's picking up, diamond cut epoxy for. Take a look here. We can see epoxy countertops near me. 1.6 thousand people are searching for that in their area. These are all the, resin countertops near me, epoxy countertop installers near me, diamond coat. These are all keywords right here. And so this is the amount of people searching for that per month in the area. And the KD is going to be on a scale of 0 to 100. Now, the higher that this is, the harder it's going to be to rank for it organically. And the lower this is, the easier and quicker it's going to be to rank organically. And when I say rank organically, if someone put an epoxy countertop company's, boot Montana, then this is the organic section that we're talking about right here, right? So this is the amount of traffic that they're seeing to the website for just that keyword per month, and this is their position in Google for it. Now let's go on to the second point that I'm going to have for you, and that's going to be a backlink. Now a backlink is anywhere you find one website linking to another, or in this case it's going to be one website linking back to, cowboycustomcountertops.com when you do get that back up and running. And so these links, they act like an endorsement of your website from others, and Google basically uses this to build trust in your business and your website by seeing others, other websites vouching for you. The best example that I can give of this is it's literally like a popularity contest where the person with the most wins, in this case, the person with the most websites pointing back at them is winning. So if we go into Ahrefs, and we take a look at your website, although it's down and whatnot, which is, I imagine, why this is all zeros, we can see that you got 0 backlinks and 0 websites pointing back to your website. We look at Diamond Coat Epoxy. We can see that they've got, 1 backlink going to this page and 1 referring domain going back to that page as well. However, if we do look at their subdomains, I guarantee you see, yeah, they've got 297 backlinks and they've got 199 websites pointing back to their page. So the idea is, right, if it works for them, then it'll most definitely work for you. And we can go in and see exactly what websites they have pointing back to their page. And these are all the websites, right? I do want to point out that not all websites, not all links are created equal. So you are going to want to go ahead and stay relevant to your industry, and local websites will work best. To further that point is this number right here, and that's going to be domain rating. And this is on a scale of 0 to 100, which means that the higher that this number is right here, the more power that Google is giving this website right here. And you want high-powered websites pointing back to your page because it's going to give you, 1, more power for your website, and 2, it's going to rank you a lot faster in this area when somebody does put this into Google, right? So let's go on to the last point that I'm going to have for you, which you do have your Google business page up. For example, if we go ahead and put this in, but Ennis, where you're actually out of, we see, hey, Cowboy Custom Countertops. So let's talk about citations, which is the last point. And now a citation is anywhere your business name, address, and phone number are exactly as it's shown right here. And so these citations, they help you rank in this map pack here, which is extremely important for local businesses since they do generate huge amounts of revenue. For an example, if someone put in epoxy countertop companies or epoxy countertops in Ennis, Montana, you want to be in that 1 to 3 range, which you are, right? And so the idea is that your brand begins to be found. Well, first, let's go ahead and tell you that citations are included in directories, like Yelp, Angie's, Expertise, BVB, and then there's hundreds of others I'm sure you've heard of. Social media accounts are great as well. For example, on your Facebook business page, you would want to put your business name, address, and phone number exactly as it's shown right here on that Facebook business page. And so Google would see that and count that as 1 citation, right? So then you got Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, the list goes on and on and on. But the idea is, as I was saying, that your brand begins to be found by Google all over the internet. And the larger your online presence is, the more Google trusts you and your website. And once Google starts to see you more often than these cats right here, the more likely it is they're going to rank you above them. Now let's do a quick recap, and then I'm going to give you some very in-depth suggestions on what I, suggest for your business and your website, especially with your new unique scenario. But let's recap real quick. Once you get your content up of 1,500 to 2,000 words and you get that website back up, and then you get those keywords in there that I gave you examples of. And then second, you're going to want to get those backlinks, and you want to get those links from other websites pointing back to your website, right? And you're starting to win that quote unquote popularity contest. And last but not least, get those reviews up and get those citations up. Really, really big on the reviews right here. Just think if you put in, restaurants near me and you saw a restaurant with no reviews, you most likely aren't going to visit it, right? So get those reviews up. I know you've done some jobs. I can see it on your Facebook page. Share that review link, brother. The reviews do wonders, I promise you. And, it's just a great way to freely advertise your company and bring in more leads. But once you get that going, as the last point, let's take a look at why that's going to be so important. Let's go back to the page that actually mattered. And so we see diamondcoatepoxy.com that they're getting roughly 500 people to their website a month. And that's all for those 3 points alone that we talked about, right? And so I'm going to be upfront with you. Diamond Cut Epoxy Countertops is not only limited to Montana, but they're actually in a couple states. So I'm not going to be unrealistic and say that this would be what your numbers are. Stay tuned for the end of it. I got some suggestions on that and how it could be, though. But let's say you've got 100 people coming to your website, or even just 50. Let's just say 50. Let's not blow it out of proportions. Let's say you got 50 people coming to your website because you've followed up on all 3 of those points like I was talking about. They pick up the phone, they call you and say, hey, I'd love to get my countertops done. And of those 50 people that actually visited your website and called you, let's say you only closed let's be on the very, very low side and say only 10. Say, close out the deal. You close out 10 of those people. That's 10 new jobs per month, on top of what you're already doing. Now, that's very minuscule numbers, and you should expect numbers to be a lot higher if you're doing these things right, like I'm telling you. But nonetheless, 10 jobs on top of what you're doing is very good profit margins. I've been in this industry for a long time, and while I know that 10 jobs would be pretty good for the revenue of the business. Now, I want to make some suggestions for you as you have a unique situation over there in Montana, in that you can see the big cities just aren't, you're not really in big cities over there in Montana. Here's what you could do. You could monopolize Montana for damn near Embry, big city, Glendive, Miles City, Billings, but I mean, all along this line right here, Great Falls, but all the way down to Idaho Falls. If you even want to, you can go into Idaho, right? Um, I mean, yeah, you could take it, you can monopolize all of Montana for epoxy countertops, which I would suggest if you have the finances to do that. Um, but if you're going to do that, you're going to need to build area service pages so that you can get those keywords that I'm talking about in there and you can start ranking for them. This would be the most optimal way to go about it. And yeah, that's the biggest suggestion on that port, along with following those three steps. Um, you know, not too many big cities around, but nonetheless, if you did pull in all of these cities along the way, that's more than enough profit and revenue. And along with that comes a lot more opportunities when you get your name out there on that type of scale. So that is what I do for a living. And had some free time this weekend, so I am knocking out these videos for you guys, trying to give back to the epoxy community. And I'm making this video, man, to start generating some more leads online for you, some more revenue. You had a very unique situation, so I did enjoy doing a little bit of high level research for you. If you did find yourself wanting some more information, or you want to continue scaling the business, feel free to reach out to me. I did see that your website was down. You may need a website, talk to me about that, or we could just talk about the goals, and I can do some research to see, what could be realistic, after some in-depth research, for your business and what it might take to reach those goals. One way or another, brother, I just ask that you leave one line of feedback. My door is always open. Again, my name is Nick O'Neill, and have a great weekend.